Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Spence.
Good morning. I have to say I'm just very depressed today because the Microsoft Edge update server is down.
Well,
I
maybe
don't know.
we should
I don't know how I'm going to
cancel
deal
the
with
show.
it. I don't know. I have to wait and watch to see if it comes back up. I just can't do anything until it comes back up.
And the gal is here, but he's just stepped out for a second. Hopefully, Nick will show up too. Our number is 919-518-9773. There is Gal. Good morning. Hey,
Good
Gal.
morning. Hello, everyone.
Good
Sorry.
morning. Good morning. Good morning. So our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software, DudeInIT.com, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. Gal, if you have stuff to do, and I hope you didn't rush in just because you heard us going live.
No.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. Are you alone in the room?
Yes.
So I want to know when Mati comes in.
It's too early.
Oh, well, it's later, yeah.
We went to sleep at I don't know, 2:30 something. So
Wow.
even then,
Yeah, I actually got I think we went to sleep. We ended up going to sleep about 11:30, and I got up at 7. And I don't know why I looked at my phone when I was doing stuff in front of the computer, and I see that LTE is on. I said, "What the hell? Where is it?" It says backup halted, paused, waiting for Wi-Fi. What? And I realized Wi-Fi was down. I went and looked at Kathy's phone. Same thing. I rebooted this, rebooted that. Nothing would bring it back. I say forget it, and I could see it, and it says connecting, and it even got to the point on some of the extenders that it said obtaining IP address, but it always came back and said authentication error, authentication. So I said forget, and I reset them up. Nothing. Finally, I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I actually rebooted the big switch. And it took probably about 3-4 minutes for Wi-Fi to come back. At first I said, okay, that didn't fix it because it came up and I could go here and there, but it's still. But then I went and brushed my teeth and came back, and oh yeah, it's perfect. Everything is fine.
but Wi-Fi isn't coming from your switch.
I know, but like we said, that if there's a conflict somewhere, because the first thing I rebooted was the router that has the Wi-Fi on it, and that
Okay.
didn't fix it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's weird.
Once in a while,
And it
I have to
always
reset
says-
my Ethernet switches because
Yeah,
it's I remember in the old days where you get what they call the killer packet. and it was a packet that was off just by a
Well,
little bit.
I think I
which-
think you
yeah.
just threw it my way
I did.
because it's still happening.
So you'd have
It's
to
weird.
reset to clear the cache in the switch, or something had
Yeah.
to be cleared.
Yeah, but what I find strange is that the Wi-Fi would fail on authentication issue and not on
connecting.
saying, okay, I couldn't get an IP. Right?
Yeah. First, it would. I saw it a couple of times sitting there obtaining IP, and it just sits there, sits there, sits
Okay,
there.
obtaining IP, so it passed authentication.
Well, other times, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Other times, it would say authentication failed.
Now you're talking the
It
internal
was-
DHCP server is the one that was not giving you an IP.
Yeah.
So that's an
Well,
internal.
was
That's
failing to pass the packet, but yeah.
The bottom line is I spent about an hour and 15 minutes trying this, trying that. And then I said, well, I should have rebooted that switch to begin with. And
For sure.
and now when
Now
I go and I
remember,
Huh?
Now I remember that I didn't give you the bag with all of the goodies that's waiting for you. Maybe one thing there would have helped.
well,
I'll talk.
but and now when I switch between extenders I mean it is like a split second. Bam, and it connects.
Yeah, as it should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I installed an extender when I was down in Florida last week, and it worked fine. But what I don't like about it is that you can't set up the single SSID for the network that you automatically switch the way you would. I have it set up between my two routers now with the same SSID, and it automatically switches based on signal strength. With the extender, you have to go in and change it.
Well, I mean, I've got two extenders. They are not the same SSID, but they do switch between them. I mean, when you
Are they the same manufacturer?
no, one is the
That's
TP-Link.
interesting.
One is
maybe
actually a router, an older router.
Yeah.
And one is the TP-Link thing.
Maybe I don't have these. I didn't have these far enough apart, but the signal strength would drop enough that it would switch over to the other one. So I had a hard time finding a place where I could plug it in that was in a good spot. But
Yeah.
it works, and my aunt knows what to do. She wants it to work in the back of her house, so she just knows when she goes back to the switch.
Yeah, but it's weird the way that I mean, it made no sense. It made absolute no sense. But I had a problem with the local network, and we kind of narrowed it down to some kind of a conflict somewhere. I did find, I forgot to tell you, Gal, I did find, oh, you stepped up.
I'm here. I'm here.
I did find that here in the studio, I have a cable coming from the office directly to the reruns machine. But on the reruns machine, it doesn't go directly into the machine. It goes into a switch, and then a patch cable goes into the PC.
Okay.
I found out that I look and I see 3 cables. And I said, okay, what is that second cable? Because one is just going to the PC, and one is coming from the main switch.
The office.
And I looked at it and I traced it, and it was going back to a switch that's under the desk here, which is
Another
also
switch.
another switch, and that feeds it. Because that switch also has a feed that comes from the main switch. I don't know how I ended up with.
So you had a loop.
It was a loop. It did not break it the minute I plugged it in,
But
but
it takes time.
But yeah, I said, okay, now this I shouldn't have like that. And I don't know why I ended up with it. What was I thinking at the time? I have no idea. So yeah, I took it out.
Yeah, that gives new meaning to round robin.
Yeah. So
I'll tell you why. You were using a token network, and you didn't want a token to fall out of the network.
token ring.
Ring.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Gal, if you need to get up and do stuff, don't worry about it. I'm just saying.
On the machine next to me.
Huh?
Just wanted to switch something on the machine next to me.
Okay. So this week, I had an interesting situation. I had a call from somebody who used to listen to us, and he said, "I got your number from Computers 2K now. Let's call him Bill." And he said, "I need you to clean my machine, my laptop." So he came over, and I was looking, and it had web root, and it had when I went in, it had a proxy on it set up and all that. Turned out that back last fall, not this fall, but last year, he paid a company somewhere on the West Coast, something Tech Experts or something like that, $2,000 for a 5-year contract to protect his machine.
One machine or multiple machines?
One machine.
One machine.
They had any desk set up so they can get in and do stuff. And he said that they were doing a good job, but he had a problem recently, and they told him that he needs to wire them some more money. And not credit card, not a check. No, they wanted it wired. And they told him where to wire it, which was a completely different company name. He got an email from somebody that says that company is going out of business. It's apparently that company is a legit software service company, but something happened there, whatever it was, and that wire the money brought something up in his mind that there's something wrong here, and I agree.
Good, yes.
So he wanted to clean the machine from what they did, because he said that when they told him that, and they were on the machine, he turned the machine off and told them that he doesn't need their services anymore. So I'm getting ready and I'm going in, and I'm trying to go in, and it says, "No, the proxy is blah blah blah." I said, "Proxy." So I went and found proxy and disabled it. Then they put WebRoot on it. They told him that they put a new firewall, which I couldn't find anything other than WebRoot. When WebRoot is it's sort of like an all-in-one thing. Took that out, used bulk uneraser, crap uneraser, uninstaller.
Uninstall.
And
Plastic piece of software.
Yep. Cleaned that up. It did not let me bring up Defender right away. It had a problem with it. It did not want to switch it on, but it finally did. What else did they put in there? I don't remember, but there were little things here and there. And we got it to work. Then it was weird because there was right next to, and I've never seen that before like that. right next to the notification area on the bottom right, it had the company name, not the whole thing, and their 800 number. And I
Okay.
was saying, shoot, how
Yeah,
do
you can hack the taskbar to show whatever you want. So
Yeah, so well, I found out where they did it. I mean, it's also a
yeah.
point and click thing, but it took time. And he said that phone number never worked anyway. So that was good. Everything is gone. There were a
Oh,
bunch
one
of
thing, did you change the unattended
I took it out.
connection password for? Yeah, so the next time he's gonna run any disk,
He's not. It's not there. And he's oh.
yeah,
You mean
just for somebody else to help him.
yeah?
I'm pretty sure the registry entries. Well, you removed it with bulk
I
upload.
yes.
Okay, so that's okay.
Yeah.
So he'll need to set up a new unattended password.
Okay.
You're good. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but
Yeah.
there were a bunch of icons on the desktop. He came the next day. He called and he said, "I'll pay you. Just clean up the desktop." And they were mostly just shortcuts, and came and
Yeah.
we did it, and that was fine. And I am assuming that everything is okay so far because I didn't hear anything. But it is just amazing. I mean, when you think about it, $2,000 for 5 years, that's $400 a year. That's a lot of money for
Yeah, that's a lot of money. But if you think about like a monthly retainer for tech services, it's not. I mean,
most.
running. It is on the high side, but it doesn't seem like it was. I mean, as long as he got his money worth, right? He got the service that he needed. He could call and they would connect and they would fix
Yeah.
whatever they fixed. Yes, it's on the pricey side, but that on itself isn't like, okay, this is weird. Or look, maybe it even includes the the subscription fee for the
It did.
yeah, so the antivirus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
not
but
too bad.
but the thing is, you have everything is available for free with Windows. I
Right,
mean,
but
Well, so many people just don't.
they don't know.
If you
I
want to
understand.
concentrate on your business and you say, I need to have somebody handle this for me, that
That's
doesn't
different.
sound
But
unreasonable.
when
Yeah.
you're just an individual who
Yeah.
sits home using the computer with nothing really, a lot of things. It's just that he had a
right,
problem. What?
But Amnon, look at it this way, right? He knows that he has a phone number that in 15 minutes somebody
Yeah.
is going to solve it, instead of him wasting an hour and a half researching and figuring it out, right? So it's not too bad. It's just the moment they mentioned the wire transfer was mentioned, yes, that's definitely scamming.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's at that point you're kind of, shoot, what am I going to do? I mean, look, he paid them, and I'm assuming he's trying to get his money back somehow, which he should try at least. I don't know that he will, but he should try.
Yeah.
But he didn't know if Defender would work, so that install program came in handy. I said, "Here, watch." I put it in and ran the program, and sure enough, Defender came and said, "Hup, there's
There's
here
a
it
threat.
is."
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was interesting. The next day he came. He drove a pickup, and I saw that he came into the driveway and stopped right there at the beginning of the driveway. and came out and in and out and in. I said, "What's going on?" So when he came back, he said, "My truck just died as I turned into your driveway." And I looked at it, and it's the same truck that I have, the old Ford 73 Ford. Only this was a 77, I believe, F100. So he said, "I'm going to call AAA." I said, "Wait a second." So I took my little tool bag and I went over there and looked, and there were loose bolts on the positive terminal, and I tightened it, and everything was fine. So it was. He asked me if I charge for fixing trucks too. But no, it was an interesting situation. I'm glad I could help the guy. It's why in the hell is Twitch going in and out? Anybody else looking at Twitch, or is it my internet? Let's change it. It was an interesting situation, to say the least. I don't know that anybody should pay 5 years in advance for something like this. And again, it's it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth, knowing that people are being taken advantage of, and they don't realize it. I mean, if he did not get an email from some other company that said, "Oh, this company is going out of business," he probably, I mean, we wouldn't be talking about it right now, because he'll just keep on going. But I mean, guys, the Defender is available. It's working. Defender used to be really bad in the early days. Now, Defender, I think, is the second. I don't know what's the first. But some reports that I've seen in the last few years, Defender is always like in the first or second place. And it works.
What I think what's nice about it is that yes, there are some things that Microsoft doesn't necessarily share with developers of other security products.
Mhm.
They know that you've got Defender, you've got antivirus, you've got anti-spyware, you've got phishing
Right.
support. That it's pretty comprehensive.
It is. But you should be able to, I mean, especially somebody like this, an educated person. It's not a irresponsible person that goes all over the place. I hope you're going to get hit, then you need to back up. Oh yeah, and they told him that they backed up his stuff. He doesn't know where the backup is. I said, look, invest $60 a year and get Carbonite, and it will back up your stuff, and you know where it's at. And if anything happens, you can go and get the stuff. So he said, would you do it? We went online and we got him subscribed, and it started backing up. Yeah, that was another thing that we added. So I'm just hoping that things will be quiet for him for a while. That was his story. It was a very interesting experience. Very nice person. Very, very nice person.
What kind of business did he run?
He doesn't.
Oh, it's just a personal machine.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was a business.
That's the thing, is that it was just a personal computer. He had a second computer, a desktop, but he said that they never got to do anything on it. And I looked at it and it was fine.
I'll offer for $5,000 a month personal service.
Oh,
Anytime
absolutely.
there's a problem,
Yep.
I'll be there.
Right.
And if I get like 2 or 3 customers who each pay me that, I'm set.
Yeah.
At a moment's notice. It's just
Whenever I wanna need. Yeah,
Anyway,
I get you.
what was the joke? Dennis the Menace joke. He was selling lemonade out in front of his house, and it was $1 a glass. And the person says, "Why is it so expensive?" He says, "I only have to sell 1 glass."
all right. This is a story from last week that never did. Sky TV, one of the largest broadcasters in the UK, has won a court injunction to prevent links to its TV shows from being illegally shared online. The interim order targets a man who moderated several TV-focused communities on Reddit while raising funds through Patreon and PayPal.
Ooh.
According to an action filed by Sky in a Scottish court, that moderator was moderating 3 subreddits, which together had more than 51,000 subscribers. He also had a YouTube channel with more than 95,000 subscribers. According to Sky, all of these platforms were used to infringe the company's copyright. In evidence to support its actions, Sky stated that the moderator was motivated by money, receiving payments from fans and followers via Patreon and directly into his PayPal account. You know, this is ridiculous. You are advertising how to get or where to get illegal feeds of copyright stuff, and then you charge people for it.
Come on, this is a criminal thief. It's not.
Yeah.
This.
You know, I mean, it's.
I don't think he'll have any love from anyone.
No, absolutely
right?
not
on any side. So it has nothing to do with justice in any way. What he did, right? So he's getting his.
He's getting his just deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine if it was based on each individual incident, account against him, each individual incident, what
Trust
that
me.
would cost.
Their
right?
lawyers are probably calculating it that way.
Oh, wow. Tens of thousands of counts for each time.
That's exactly how the MP3 lawsuits would work.
Yeah.
They would count whatever they would find on a hard drive or whatever evidence they collected for a torrent share, right? And they would just accumulate them. So I'm pretty sure this lawsuit has that as well.
And it may get there. Who knows?
It's like the way Microsoft used to go into an organization and count up all the illegal copies of software.
Oh yeah.
And they'd say, okay, well, we can do this 2 ways. We can go to court and you will owe us tens of millions of dollars, or we can fix your subscription and it will cost you $1 million. So, I mean, they are every bit in their legal right to do so.
Sure.
Because I remember when we were working with Microsoft to sell add-ons to the original, what was it, Link? Microsoft Link?
Yeah.
Was one of their first
Universal Communicator, then Link, then Skype for Business.
Yeah. So we were involved with them for a while, and we got a training class on how to go in and look at licenses. And then to basically report back to them when we found discrepancies, because they would want to straighten it out. It was interesting.
Yep.
Talk about a what's the right word for it? Not an endowment. what would the word be? What a non ever running royalty that doesn't ever go away. So
Yeah. God, I think either you or Spence, one of you guys mentioned Ecobee,
I use it.
ECOBEE.
Yep.
Okay. Amazon tried to use its power to coerce Ecobee into using its smart home products to collect user data by threatening Ecobee's ability to sell its products on Amazon.
Wow.
This is according to a
Oh.
report from the Wall Street Journal. As of now, Ecobee's products can still be purchased on Amazon, but the Wall Street Journal claims that negotiations between Ecobee and Amazon's are ongoing. According to the Wall Street Journal, the online retail giant asked Ecobee to share data from its Alexa-enabled smart thermostats, even when the customer wasn't actively using the voice assistant. Ecobee reportedly refused to have its devices constantly report back to Amazon about the state of the user's home, including data on which doors were locked or unlocked and the set temperature. The reasoning being that enabling its devices to report this data to Amazon would be a violation of its customers' trust. Perfect reason.
I'm very glad that I have two Ecobee 3 lights. They do not have Alexa. You have to go with the Ecobee 4.
Oh.
Yeah. So the 3 lights do not have Alexa built in.
I mean, I don't understand Amazon doing something like this, knowing it's going to leak out to the press. And I mean, that's a bad situation.
I
a bad
guess they
story.
didn't know it'll leak out to the press.
Amon.
Well,
lately, a lot of people have been talking about a specific term that comes out of, I think it's Greek, called hubris.
yeah.
Hubris is the overwhelming confidence in yourself that no matter what you do is right. And just believing that I can't fail, everybody will kowtow to me, and just it always. And what was there were several of these things that were in Greek mythology, hubris, and there's another term for when it comes back to bite you. And hubris is it's everywhere.
Karma?
It's like karma, exactly. But there's a Greek term that they used. I can't remember what it was. But
Well,
amazing. Yep. Hubris.
Well, there's some hubris in the report as well, right?
Yes.
I mean, let's just look at the report and see. So the report is so one-sided, putting Amazon as like the big bad wolf, requesting what status for the door locks, right? And the state of the home. Now, those are the things that you are that would be described legally when you sign a waiver to Amazon. But when you use their Amazon has that I think it's called the lock, Amazon lock, Amazon. Anyway, the solution where the Amazon delivery person can enter your garage or your front door and leave you your package, right? So it's not that Amazon is planning on collecting this information and storing it just for their fun and then sell that. Is they have a service that is based on it. They sell that service to customers. I don't know if it's a sell or they just allow it to be enabled on Prime. I don't use it, so I don't know. I don't use any of their smart home other than Alexa. So so I'm guessing, right, that Amazon is trying to negotiate with Ecobee, hey, let's make you part of this ecosystem. And somebody in Ecobee, went to the press trying to pressure Amazon on their end. So
maybe that's a good angle.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like either of them is really when it comes to privacy, right? Especially the talk about privacy, right? The talk is always about the legal terms, not about what the actual data is doing.
Mhm.
And the thing is that when we talk about the legal terms, right? Like, is Alexa listening all the time? And the answer is equivocally yes. The microphones are on all the time. There's a processor in the box that listens all the time for the wake up word. And that doesn't go out. It stays inside that machine, right? And then when the wake up word comes in, then there's communication to the server, right? In order to decide what to do with the words being said. That part, yeah, it's recorded, but why is it recorded? And always the why is completely dropped, because the 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 scare tactic of media is, let's talk about how we can scare them. And when you talk in legal terms is it true or is it false, right? And so, are they recording or are they not? Yes, they're recording. Do I have a problem with them recording? No, because it has nothing to do, right, with the technology. The technology isn't streaming every single word I'm saying back and registering. It's not like somebody is infringing on my privacy just to infringe on my privacy. And this is the same thing. I'm guessing this is a negotiation between two companies, Amazon being the big one, Ecobee being a well-established brand, but they're nothing like Amazon, right?
Right.
And they want the upper hand in the negotiation, so they get the press to write something really, really bad about Amazon. And Amazon, right, is doing something because it does have customers who really like the service and they want to expand it. So, do I like the service? No, I'm never going to buy the service, but I'm also not going to pay $2,000 for 5 years of IT support, right? There are people who will pay, who are willing to release some of their privacy to get some comfort, and there is nothing invalid or valid about it, right? And so, when I read an article like that, I always think, who how did how did the reporter in the first place get the data, right? Who is involved here in telling? And the story is so one-sided that I think it's pretty clear where the story is coming from, right? There's always a bit more. It's never a sinister evil guy plotting to rule over the world. It's always a lot more complex when humans are involved, right? So always take something like this with a grain of salt. That's all I have to say.
Well,
But what I think is that when for Ecobee to now, I don't know if who Ecobee made it public or not. It was this person who discovered this who made it public, but they're really walking on thin ice when it comes to that's a huge reseller of their product, and if it was banned, they would really suffer. So
Yeah, and there's right. The article mentions they are in negotiations, right?
yeah.
I mean, Amazon has been known to pull out, right? There was the YouTube fiasco where they pulled YouTube out of their ecosystem, or Google pulled out of the Amazon ecosystem.
well, they just dropped support for Firefox now for Alexa, not Alexa, for Fire TV. That just got announced. That they decided to drop support for Firefox as a browser on Fire TV.
Well, I
Fire
think
Stick.
I don't think this is new. I think there's like almost zero browsers. There's like two, and they're more focused on downloads or something.
Silk, and there's two other ones. I think Firefox was one. I never remember what the other. Yeah, Silk is theirs. Yeah, but this was just something I just read today. In fact, I'll see how old the story is.
I'll check it out. See
Yeah.
what I know. I couldn't find Firefox for the Fire TV before. By the way, have you noticed the facelift they did Fire TV?
Yes. Again.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
they
that
changed it.
old?
They changed it back in January, and then they just changed it again. They took off. There were some things that appeared there. If you use the recast for recording, it used to be a library. You didn't have to. It was on the main menu, and they took it off. So save to look at your saved shows. So now you have to go couple of clicks down to find the library. And when they first changed it, it wasn't an easy adaptation. But the older Fire Stick I have has never updated. It's still the same old menu, so it's probably not capable.
It probably. I mean, it might be capable, but they're definitely not pushing anything for that in that direction because they don't want to go into that rabbit hole.
Oh, that, and I'm sure they want to sell newer devices. And I'm actually going to keep this one because I like this menu. It still works. I mean, it's a little slower, but
well, the main problem with the older generation Fire Sticks is not the slowness so much as support for modern codecs, and so encoding, you get lesser quality basically. So
in this situation on this particular television, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't matter, it's okay. Yeah, I agree with you.
I have not bought a 4K version yet. I have no 4K TVs.
Amnon, have you? You're done with the Windows XP machine, right?
What do you mean?
You had a Windows XP machine running for like that.
Yeah,
long time.
We took it off.
So eventually he left the first generation Fire Stick.
Yeah, but believe it or not, I actually had to bring that laptop out to use it yesterday.
Yesterday.
I mean, for one simple reason, Jason brought over a couple of Juniper switches.
Oh, so you needed the console.
So I needed the terminal because the way to get into it is you
Serial
have
port.
to go. There are no buttons. You have to do, and it took forever to figure out the right cable. But I don't understand why Windows 10 doesn't have a terminal program.
I have an old
Those 10?
USB docking station that has serial ports on it that I keep just for that reason.
Yeah, but what do you use it with?
What do you mean?
I get what you're saying.
There's terminals out there you can download for free.
Well, download and all that, yeah. But this way I figured, I mean, I had the machine. I said, okay, this is the XP. It's got hyper terminal. Okay, let's put it. Sure enough, bam.
Yeah, but hyper terminal, you had to. That wasn't built in.
Yeah, it was. To XP and to 95, 98. I mean, they always had it. Yeah. I think they took it in. I think they took it out in 7. I'm not sure, but yeah, it definitely wasn't there.
It's according to this, it's in the Microsoft Store, Windows Terminal.
Well, Windows Terminal is the Windows 10.
Windows 10. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a completely new terminal, but I'm not sure they support serial. I pasted a link, Terminus. Evgeny.github.io at Terminus. Just search Terminus and find the GitHub project for it. That is flat out the best terminal out there today, and it's free and it's open source.
Maybe I'll download it and put it on one.
It's really good. I use it. It's definitely my daily driver. I use it for PowerShell command line as well as SSH, and it has a serial plugin. So that you, when you install it, you decide whether it's to activate it or not. So it's not like something complex or you need another download.
All right.
Very well, very, very, very good one.
But anyway,
the
that's
page
what
I just went to, with top Windows terminal. Terminus is the top one they recommend.
I used. So I used that XP machine, and yeah, God, I still couldn't figure out how to dumb down that that switch. How to change the static IP of it. It was on a 10 dot something, and my network is the 192.168. So I had to get another machine that I can. Anyway, I'll figure it out.
Just notice when you're searching for the terminus one, it's terminus and not termius, which looks really, really similar, costs money, and is not what we're talking about.
And it's not tiramisu, which is a dessert.
Well, tiramisu. And I'm
Terminus
trying to
was a
cut
big
out
deal.
carbs. Come on, man.
Did you watch The Walking Dead at all in the first years? I haven't watched it in years, but Terminus was a big deal when they got to Atlanta, and I think it was like the third or fourth season. That was a big story arc for the whole season, Terminus, which is where the railroads came together.
I was never into that. My son was, but I don't. I really dislike zombie lore. It always feels like there's nothing there. The only zombie movie I like is Shaun of the Dead.
That was a good movie. I heard they were talking about a sequel to that. I don't know if they're going to do it or not. Yeah. No, that was a very good movie. Yeah.
All right, Spence, are you ready for specials?
I can do it right now.
You can do it right now?
I can do it right now.
Okay, y'all.
So special.
I need to make it big enough for my sorry eyes to see here. Let's see. Sometimes when I capture, depending on the quality of the screen, I'm using Snagit to do my screen caps because it's just so easy to use. I have had a license forever, but sometimes the quality of the image in the HTML is just not that good. So I have to blow it up a little bigger than normal. All right. So Amnon, you're just getting into cloud computing, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is you with cloud computing. My favorite one here is I like the thing it says trying to make plans in a group chat with this impossible Rubik's sphere, I guess they call it. But
Definitely.
The best one is the water fountain. The drain for the water fountain is actually the Wi-Fi symbol in Windows.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Okay. So today we have a very, very normal specials day in that I found everything on all of our three typical sites, Staples, Office Depot, and Best Buy. Best Buy's format got a lot better for some reason. I don't know why they were neglecting it. Oh, there we go. Gal has the outrageous Rubik's. Is that actually a Rubik's thing? Or just
wait a second.
Yeah, this is just 3x3x3, but it's with irregular shapes. This becomes a cube at the end. This one I actually solved, at least. I do have something similar to what you
the picture
have in the screenshot there. A bit smaller. This one, the one you're there, is like 5x5, 6 or something. I have it smaller, but this one is. I love this because at the end it's just a 3x3. It's the same solution process, and yeah, it's really fun. Okay, sorry.
I don't know that I'd have the patience to play it. I'd want to cheat and find the answer. Do it online. Something.
All right.
Oh, first
all right.
You
wait. What?
Sorry.
What?
I said first you learn the process. I did not solve it on my own or anything. I learned the process for the 3x3, the regular one. This one later I learned to look at it as a 3x3, and then I could solve it. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember having looking at the instructions on the original Rubik's Cube on how to solve it. And eventually I got to the point where I could do it too. But I had to teach myself.
Yeah.
All righty. So the availability of laptops is so much better than it was. And prices finally starting to see some sales again. But we do have at Staples, we've got a HP Intel i5. This is a 15.6-inch notebook, 8 gig of memory, 256 SSD, $479. That's normally $589, so it's $110 off. Got a Lenovo Ideapad 3, which I was down in Florida for a visit, and I saw my aunt. She's got a new Ideapad 3. Very impressed with this machine. What a nice machine. It is a little short on USB ports, but it does have a USB-C connection on it, not for power, but and you can plug, I actually ordered her a USB-C hub to connect that gives her USB 3 as well as a few other, I think is HDMI and a few other things. Mm-hmm. But nice machine. This is a 15.6-inch i3, 8 gig of memory for $369, which is $160 off. We've got an Acer 23.8-inch LCD monitor for $119, which is $50 off. Got a Lenovo IdeaCenter 5 desktop computer. I believe, and I forgot to add this to it, I believe it's an i5. They did have an i3. i5, it's $549, which is $50 off. We've got a Blink mini indoor camera, 1080p for $27.99, which is $7 off. We got two bundles of outdoor Blink cameras, a 2-camera system for $129, which is $50 off. And then we got a 3-camera system for $179, which is also $50 off. And Blink, if you want to stay in that ecosystem, it's great. They work well, easy to put up. I see so much stuff out there. There's so many different cams. There's so many knockoffs. There's so many systems. It's probably a good idea to stick with a manufacturer, depending on what you're doing. If you're okay with having different apps to access things, but that's a personal choice. All right, so we have a Lexar jump drive. This is a 32 gig for $999. Got a Seagate UltraTouch 2 terabyte external portable hard drive for $79, which is $13 off the regular price. TP-Link Deco M4 dual band mesh Wi-Fi system. Now, keep in mind, this is AC. This is not AX. But still, for an AC mesh system, 3 units, 1 base, 2 slaves, 2 satellites, for $129, which is $20 off. They got the TP-Link Archer AX3000 Wi-Fi 6, the latest standard, dual band wireless router. It's not a tri-band. The high-end AX is going to be tri-band. But still, the reason why you can get this for $129 is because it's a dual band. So it's $129.10 off. Got an APC 650 VA battery backup surge protector for $64.99, save $12. There is going to be a 900 version of this in an upcoming ad. And we also got, I didn't realize that Brother made as many scanners as they do. And for some reason, the only thing that's actually on sale from Brother this week is scanners. No printers on sale. They're out there, a few, but there's nothing on sale. But this is a good deal on a Brother desktop scanner, and their base price comes in as quite a bit lower than the Fujiscan and other brands that you see out there. So this is a desktop scanner, automatic duplex, $249, which is $20 off the regular price. That is at Staples. Moving on to Office Depot Office Max, we've got an HP 15.6-inch AMD Ryzen 7 machine, 16 gig of memory, 256 solid state drive for $559, which is $110 off. Another Lenovo Ideapad 3, but this is the 17.3-inch version with an Intel i3, 8 gig of memory, 1 terabyte hard drive. This is not an SSD. $439, which is $100 off. Got a Lenovo IdeaCenter 5 Core i5 desktop 12 gig of memory, 256 solid state for $599, which is $150 off. Got an AOC. AOC makes monitors? I didn't realize she was in that business. Wow. Well, she's so diverse. 27-inch AOC LED monitor for $129, save $50. That's a big monitor.
And it's green too.
It's green? Yes, it's very green.
It's
it
a
has
green
no
deal.
plug.
Yeah.
It has no plug. You can't plug it in. It's just to look at, to make you feel good. It's virtue signaling. That's the electronics that are built into it. It's called virtue signaling.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. A 5-pack of USB 2.0 16 gig flash drives for $22.99, save $22 from PNY. Got a Western Digital portable 2 terabyte drive for $54.99.
Wow.
That's a good price for a 2. Normally $74.99. Got a Canon image class MFI 113W wireless laser all-in-one monochrome printer for $119. That's 60 off. Canon, I think, is my second favorite when it comes to lasers. They make good printers. This is a unique product. We've seen the single label printer from Dymo. This is a double label printer. So this prints barcode and the address label. So if you need to do inventory and shipping together in one pass, there's software that lets you print these things. I'm not sure how it ties into your database. I'm sure they have hooks and tools to do that. But it's called the 450 Twin Turbo Label Printer for PC and Apple. It's $159, it's 60 off. Got a Western Digital 4 terabyte external hard drive, USB 3 for $109, 40 off. The 8 terabyte version is $159. So for $40 more, $50 more, sorry, you can double the size of the drive to 8 terabytes, $159 normally. Let's see here. It's $126 off. I don't see where it says what the normal price. Oh, I had to kind of blend this stuff together. Overlapping. So here I was mentioning a 900 APC 900 kVA battery backup for $79, which is 20 off.
900 is like what, 750?
750 watts. Yeah. So the 600 would be about 400 something watts. Yeah. So TP-Link AC 1750 gigabit wireless range extender with external antennas, $69. I've just put in a very inexpensive TP-Link. I think I paid $29 for it, which was a dual band. Works very well. Their maximum speed is something like, 750, not 1750. But they work well, and it was easy to install. This is $69.99, 10 off. And finally, the price on the dual band AX routers. They didn't come out with these at first. Everything was tri-band, everything was top end. Multiple vendors are now selling AX wireless routers. This is a Lexus MaxStream Wi-Fi 6 router, the MR7350 for $99, which is $50 off the regular price. It's a good thing. To find a tri-band adapter that will work with the top end AX technology is going to be hard to find.
Spence,
Certainly not going to be in a lot of laptops yet.
Spence, did you work with the AXs?
I haven't yet.
I'm wondering if it will add anything
by itself
to somebody who does not have an AX on the laptop. And
supposedly there are different algorithms and there's different interference and channel selection rules that it uses that makes any network better. But you need to remember that to get this top end stuff to work, typically you've got to turn off support for the older technologies. You got to turn off N. You got to turn off probably even G. Well, G is gone. I mean, but N was the N was the first delving into what is the AC standard. So, but yeah, there are things in it that.
So but the thing is, you still can you take advantage of it with your older laptop, or
I
you have
believe
to
you
get-
can. I believe you can, but that stuff should be AC.
Okay, so
don't
you
think- I don't-
so unless you're
yeah.
going to buy a new laptop with AX, you need to buy also a little USB dongle.
Yeah, and they're starting to produce those AX.
Yeah.
External devices.
Right.
That's the one that lags behind the most.
Yeah.
But I understand that they are working on a laptop chipset upgrade that you can actually pop out the wireless card and pop in. Intel is doing this. That you can take a laptop that's got an AC board in it and swap it out for an
Yeah,
AX board.
and that's not a user replaceable in every case.
It's not too hard to do. Yeah, I mean, I've done it. I've swapped out boards, and I've
Yeah, there are
I've-
some that you just take the screws in the back
yeah, you
for the
top
door,
out-
and
you
it's
pop
right
out
there.
The antenna.
Yeah.
You pop out the antenna mounts, and it's
But
just-
I would
it's-
say that if you can get a dongle, then you're
that's the
fine.
best way. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. USB dongle that has a directional antenna or some type of a stand you can use. It's the best way because you're going to be able to actually turn the antenna.
All right.
Yeah, but it's good stuff, and it's going to be out there. The prices are coming down. This is what we want to see, so it's going to help. Certainly, more traffic in the same space. AX is going to allow there to be a much more spectrum of bandwidth in a much smaller area with better management.
You mean it doesn't work with AT&T?
Yeah, I guess. All right, so that's Office Depot, Office Max. Moving on to Best Buy, we've got a Lenovo 14-inch touchscreen Chromebook, AMD A6 series, 4 gig of memory for $269, which is $60 off. This next one, I looked at this and I tried to find specs to say, well, what makes this a kid's PC? What about it have they added, value added to this? That might add some things that make this safer for kids to use. And I couldn't really find anything.
Oh, that's the Cano. No, I'll
Yeah.
explain.
So what do you know about this?
Yeah. You remember the UN's
Yes. Yeah. That program to get
one
laptops and
laptop
kids.
for every child, something like that. So this is like a spin-off of that. What they did is they took all of the development that was done to those laptops, and they basically created these. They have a whole, a whole line. They have like a line of a couple of models. One comes as a complete kit, like a Raspberry Pi, something that you hook it up. You like build the machine, and the software is like the simplified OS version, educational version, really similar to the one from the UN project. And it holds all of these educational software and games already pre-installed on them. And I think they also have some sort of store. It's a very interesting project. So if you have a young person that you know that is really interested in computing in general, or you want to see if the spark is going to catch, this is one good starting point. It's an excellent starting point.
So as a
Interesting. It does say Windows 10. So
Okay, so this is
Yeah.
like a new model
Yeah.
of it.
So
Yeah,
in
okay.
other words, it doesn't have any protection for kids from things on the web.
I
It's
don't know.
just that it's made for kids. But it's a regular, it's full featured
Well,
operating
this one,
system.
maybe I do know that the previous one they weren't Windows 10 based. They were like this specific Linux flavor.
that was the original program where they wanted to have $100 laptops.
$100. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So this is like a spin-off of that. It's not that. So I think if you go to the website, you'll see this laptop is really bulky. It's like really thick. The reason it's really thick is because the kid whoever buys this, right? They they use like separate components and they hook everything up on their own. It's not because it makes too much sense. The reason is to teach kids about the different components involving in computing, and to understand that it's never just one thing, right? Yeah. So there's the keyboard is you lay it out on your own, and the CPU here, it's not a CPU, it's actually like an all-in-one PC board, is hooked up via some plug, and a camera you can plug in right on your own, stuff
So
like
it's
that.
an educational
So,
thing too, not just a
yeah,
tool.
Good.
Yeah,
Sounds
the
good.
focus is education.
Yeah, when I looked at this at the Best Buy site, you clicked on the description. It didn't really get into anything about Kano. It just talked about, laptop for kids. So laptop tablet. Yeah, because it is a touchscreen too, which is nice. Okay.
It definitely is a worthwhile project to look into.
We've got a Lenovo 24-inch FreeSync monitor for $139, which is 50 off. An interesting thing, Anker makes some good products, and I have several Anker devices in my my office here. But this was intriguing to me. I have a couple of different speaker phones that I've gotten over years that are Bluetooth, and they turn out to be really good speakers for Bluetooth, but at the same time, speakerphones. But this was intriguing because it's designed for voice enhancement. 24-hour call time, Zoom certified speaker, so on home office, 6 microphones. Now that's really essential if you have a conference room. So this sounds like it would work really well. I know so many people, I'm on Zoom calls, their sound quality is horrible because they're using the microphone in a really cheap webcam or in their laptop. And it's just so muffled. And it's like, it would be good to get something that would be a much more decent speaker, or microphone, I should say. But $129, that's not on sale, but I was intrigued by finding this. The next thing too is I haven't seen anything with Logitech on sale. Few things. There was this Logitech speaker system that was on sale. But this is a keyboard, not a keyboard mouse combo, but just a wireless keyboard, the entry level 270 wireless keyboard for $19. Say that's 10 off. Just starting to see this stuff go on sale again, which is good. Next one is we've got a Logitech 2.3 Dolby, not Dolby, what is it called? But with the standard for multi-speaker systems, my mind just went blank.
BTS?
But 2.1, which means you have two speakers and a subwoofer. So if you get into like a 5.1 system, it's got the 2 fronts, the two backs, a center speaker, and a subwoofer. But this is an entry level, but a very good system for an individual laptop, 3-piece system. $129, save 20. Got a Western Digital 1 terabyte external drive 3.0 for $44.99. So this is also a good price for a 1 terabyte drive. That other $50-something for the 2 terabyte was very good. Not on sale, but they've got a Samsung 970 500 gig PCI Express SSD drive. Very handy under the circumstances when it's what fits. We've got a Western Digital 12 terabyte USB 3.0 hard drive, $219, which is 60 off. And finally, a couple of deals on some internal hard drives. These are not SSDs, but I've got a Western Digital Red. This is the NAS hard drive for it says, why do they call the NAS for desktops? I wouldn't usually think of this is going to be a not that fast
because
drive.
it has an Ethernet port.
Oh,
if
this
they
does?
say NAS. Oh, what are you talking about?
This is designed
one?
to go into a NAS.
The WD
machine.
Red.
Oh,
the
no,
WD
okay.
Red. Yeah, the WD Red. It's a drive that's a slower speed, but it's designed for a NAS.
The reason they're saying for desktop is just for people who do not understand what
I guess
3.5 inch means.
Yeah. So desktop. So 3.5 form factor. But this is designed specifically for a machine that gets a lot of thrashing. So higher mean time to failure. So 197, which is $52 off the regular price. That's a 8 terabyte. And they've also got an 8 terabyte, what they call an Iron Wolf NAS drive, which is I guess it's a slightly lower quality for 184, which is normal $15 off the regular price. I have something that I put in my camera system, which was called a surveillance drive, which is designed to constantly be writing. So similar, but varying. I guess it's really just the quality of the components and the warranty you get with it. So, and that's it for specials for. It's actually
You didn't
April
talk about the
18th.
12, did you?
Talk about the what?
12 terabyte.
8.
The one right on to the left of the two reds.
Oh, I did.
Oh,
Yeah, I said
okay.
it was a 12 terabyte external
Okay,
USB 3
all right.
for $219. Yeah, I did mention it.
Okay.
So these are just both two, what you would call higher end hard drives.
Yeah.
But that you could build a very nice network attached storage device with. So something that's going to give you years and years and years of service, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And that is it.
Thank you, Spence.
Live long and prosper.
919-518-9773. Computers 2K voice on Skype. Let's see. New Yorkers. Charter Communications employees who have been on strike since 2017. I never heard of that. Are building an internet service provider in New York City called People's Choice. People's Choice Communication is an employee-owned social enterprise launched by members of IBEW Local Number 3 to bridge the digital divide and help our neighbors get connected to the internet during the COVID-19 pandemic. That's from their website. We are the workers who built a large part of New York City's internet infrastructure in the first place. We built out Charter Spectrum's cable system until 2017. The company pushed us out on strike by taking away our health care, retirement, and other benefits. It's now the strongest strike in U.S. history. I would say, what, 4th year? After we build out a network in your building, it transfers to cooperative ownership. So profits are returned to users. The People's Choice website said that. And we are able to provide high-speed service in most cases for $10 to $20 a month. No more cable company ripping you off. And as an owner, you have a vote in policies like data privacy. So it has to do with antennas and wireless, things like that. But I thought you had to have a contract with the city in order to do this. I doubt that they have that, but apparently they're doing it.
I question the timing. I mean, I realize why they want to do it, but the timing is not good.
Well,
And that you're kind of past. This is something that would have been nice a year ago. And I have an opinion of the way. I'm not condemning unions because they're in many cases they're necessary for safety and things like that. But to happen at this time, are they going to have all the things they need from a right of way and infrastructure perspective to do this? That's just I just wonder because they need cooperation of a lot of people. They can't just say, well, we're going to barge our way into the existing network and buy timeshare on it. That's just not going to happen.
right.
So
That's
for
what
them to
I
provide,
don't.
they're going to run wires through the street.
No. They don't run wires. It's
use
it's
wireless.
wireless. It's antennas. They put
Oh, well,
antennas.
even so, that's still, you
Yeah.
think about the airwaves in New York
Yeah,
City are
yeah.
tremendously crowded. It's going to have to be something unique. So, well,
Yeah.
Well,
good luck to them,
interesting
but
enough,
I
they
hope
have
it-
some projects public in their website. It's really, but there's very little information about them. So, other than naming them and just a small blurb, but it is an interesting concept. I mean, they're getting their bandwidth from somebody, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting.
they're going to have trucks driving around with antennas on the roof. And what they'll do is they'll have a giant storage device in the truck that caches the internet once an hour, the whole internet. And they'll just have it available. And then at the end of that, they'll cache it again. So everything will be an hour delayed.
You know,
You think that'll work?
talking about running cables. Sarid was here yesterday, and he was telling me that in his neighborhood, Google now, the way that they are pulling cable, they don't dig on the side and bury conduit and then run. Said they come with some type of a pavement saw, and they run on the side of the pavement right next to the gutter, and they dig just like that thing that they bury cables in your yard. What do they call that?
Ditch witch.
Ditch witch. But it's a ditch witch that does it on the pavement, and then they put the cable in there and seal over it.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I wonder if there aren't issues with the people that maintain the roads.
I don't know.
No,
I
they
mean,
got
they
approval
must.
for
I'm
that. I
sure.
remember they went into discussions with I don't know if it was city council or on the state level
Mhm.
to get approval for those for that.
Oh, I realize
special
I realize
method.
they had to get approval. I'm just saying is that stuff. Anytime you cut into a street and
Yeah.
patch it, it doesn't last. It weakens the whole road. We've had places out here that were patched when AT&T put in their fiber. They had to cut little squares out of the road in different places. The patches were already messed up. I mean, they just
Right.
didn't
So
work
the whole
very well.
idea is they're digging like very shallow compared to
Very
everything else.
shallow. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean it's a
And,
good
yeah.
idea.
I mean, they're just the rolling of the cost of damage to their cable, right, is probably nothing compared to actual, you know, uh, the old way of digging. So I think that's why they go that way.
It's just an interesting new concept.
Yeah.
To do it like that.
I had an idea years ago for a company. You remember this, Amnon, where we just run a new cable down the street and just let it go to your house. And then when it breaks, we put another one in.
Yeah. That will be the cheapest.
Yeah. And that's exactly what they did after 9/11 when they had to get the mobile central offices up and running so they could support downtown. They just ran the cables through the street. And when trucks drove over it too much, they replaced it until they could rebuild the infrastructure.
Those main fiber cables, they are not that susceptible to trucks driving over it and all that. I've seen a piece on the street where I can't remember where it was. That was like across the street for quite a few months. And when you
They
look
last
at it,
a while.
yeah, they're pretty strong.
As long as they have something that keeps it from twisting, and if they have like a small bridge to go over it, it'll last.
Oh.
Yeah. But you'd be people
Now,
would trip
listen to
over it.
this. We're talking about access. The FCC is encouraging netizens to use its internet speed mobile app in an effort to finally get accurate broadband data across the United States. In an announcement on Monday, the telecoms regulator noted that the app provides a way for consumers to test the performance of their mobile and in-home broadband networks and provides the test results to the FCC. It stops far short of saying that the data will be used to make policy decisions, however, saying only that the figures gathered will help to inform the FCC's efforts to collect more accurate and granular broadband deployment data. So they want you to use that speed test that they came up with, and it will report directly to the FCC about the speeds. If I was a provider that is playing games, I would be worried. So it's an interesting concept that they tell you to use speed test, and it will allow them to see it.
I remember
Yes.
seeing that app a long time ago.
Huh?
Wonder what has changed.
Speed test, you mean?
No, it's their own speed test.
Or their own speed test. Yeah, because speed test now you can OEM it and build it into your products. They'll
Yeah,
sell the
well,
code.
I think in the rest of the article that I was reading, they said that they got some from Ookla, which is who was a part in that speedtest.net, that speed test. But it's their own, and apparently it reports directly to them, or maybe just with a press of a button. So get it
Interesting.
right. Let's see what else we have. Here. Now, last Tuesday, Microsoft announced a new 2021 Surface laptop called the Surface Laptop 4. The new version adds 11th generation Intel Core processors paired with Intel Iris Xe graphics. There's also an AMD processor option, Zen 2 series, with a graphics chip called AMD Radeon Graphics Microsoft Surface Edition. So they have a new Surface. It's getting faster and faster and faster.
Yeah, but it's not getting cheaper.
No. No, and I mean, there was an article somewhere that I read that said that the shortage of chips is going to linger for another at least 2 years.
Yep.
So that
Sounds about right.
It's going to bring prices up. Gal, here's something. Google has announced that the Google Play Movies and TV app will no longer be available on any Roku set-top box or any Samsung, LG, Vizio, or Roku Smart TV starting in July 15th. What is that, Play Movies? You know?
It's their they have an option for like a music service where you purchase or rent rights for the movie content. Instead of Redbox, basically,
Okay.
like an alternative to Redbox. But you can also purchase. So if you purchase the right, it's yours forever. So let's say You can rent the movie for $5, or you can pay, I don't know, 20, $30, and it's yours forever, right? And you can play it whenever you
Okay.
want.
So it says that
Bit like what Amazon, not Amazon. Well, Amazon does it with some video content, as well as Apple. They have it on their music app, and I think they also have a video app similar to that.
and they're saying if you have movies or TV shows purchased or rented through the service, you'll still be able to access them through the Your Movies and Shows section of the YouTube app on those devices. This change
Okay. So they're just switching to the YouTube. They're doing what they did with Google Music.
okay.
Google Music became YouTube Music, right?
I
Play
don't know.
Music.
Okay.
Play Music. Google Play Music became YouTube Music, and it looks like they're just consolidating everything under the YouTube brand.
Okay. It says that this change will also affect you if you use the Movies and TV app to access Movies Anywhere, the service that allows you to redeem codes from DVDs and Blu-rays so you can access your media digitally. Google has confirmed to the Verge that users who relied on Play Movies and TV to access that content will be able to do so through YouTube. Yeah.
I think they have. It took them a long time, but they are finally consolidating efforts that they have on separate projects into clumps that actually make sense. They're
Clumps.
yeah, they're discarding Hangouts finally, right? Moving into voice. Still doesn't make sense with their Duo offering, and I think they have another group chat thing, but it's like they're taking different sections of their business and starting to make more sense out of it. You ask me, a bit too late to the game. I hope it'll stick. But yeah, I'll give you an example. So the Google Music option that they had before now is YouTube Music, right? It's actually a pretty sweet deal, because for a similar price to what you pay to other music services, you get YouTube Music. So as long as you're not hooked into, I think the Alexa ecosystem, that's the only one that YouTube Music currently isn't supported on. So as long as you're not hooked into that ecosystem, you get something that is comparable. It has the advantage of uploading your own stuff, which was available before, and you can tie it up with YouTube Premium and get a good music service along with no ads on YouTube. Not a bad deal when you compare it to what others are offering, because whatever you're doing, everybody's using YouTube in one capacity or another, right? You go into a website, you read a news article. If it's not a big media company, then if it has a video, it's an embedded video, and it's probably on YouTube, right? So I think they finally understand that they have real power behind the user counts, and maybe finally they'll move their business in a better direction for us as consumers. But this is just me hoping, wishful thinking.
Well, look, hoping. There's nothing wrong with hoping.
Nope.
And
about the strike. Yeah.
the what?
Somebody asked for the article about the strike. I just pasted it.
Yeah, I just
from
realized
Ars
that
Technica.
the laptop for the first time since I've been using it here actually locked up. Couldn't do a thing. I wonder if it's because of the updates. I don't know.
I think it has to do with Zoom. My work
No.
laptop.
This doesn't have Zoom on it. This is just
Oh, okay.
I just log into the website and watch what's going on for the chat and stuff like that. And I saw that nothing was going on, and I said, "Oh,
Mhm.
let's see." Now,
Oh.
well, but what happened with the Zoom? You started saying,
My work laptop.
yeah,
Whenever I'm on a video,
call,
I have video on Zoom.
yeah,
The CPU spike goes. The CPU goes to 100% for
ouch.
a long time, slowing. Yeah, and the only way for me to bypass that is to just shut down the video. And I've shut down all video processing and everything from the machine. Following instructions from forums and Reddits of people having the similar issues. It might have worked once or twice, but other than that, it just almost every session I have with video, I need to shut it off, which is really, really annoying.
It is annoying. And what
Yeah.
again? What processor is in it?
Probably I think an i7.
Damn.
It's like a beefy machine. Yeah, it has nothing to do with that. It's has a lot of memory. It just chokes up. Yeah. Too bad.
Yep, that is too bad. Boy, that's nice. I never noticed. I had to press the button to shut down the machine, the laptop.
Mhm.
Then I turned it back on, and it came up the same way that it was. I mean, with it opened all the programs and every.
Yeah, Windows 10.
Nice.
Actually, I think this was there since Windows XP in
No.
some form.
No, not
Yeah,
when you.
it
Not
never
when you.
worked well.
Oh,
It never worked well, but it was always there in some form. And every version, Windows 7 already did that. I think Windows 8 actually had that switched off. You could switch it on. So, yeah.
it's interesting. I mean, you think that when I always tell people, do not turn off the machine with a key with a switch, unless you have to. There's no other way.
Yeah.
Came up. Nice. Never had to. I mean, I have not done it in
Well, are you
ages.
sure it went down?
Oh, it was. I mean, come on. Let's see. Now here's something else. We have Intel. We have AMD. nVidia said it's offering the company's first server microprocessors, extending a push into Intel's most lucrative market with a chip aimed at handling the most complicated computing work. Intel shares fell more than 2% on the news. The graphics chip maker has designed a CPU based on technology from ARM, which is a company they're trying to acquire from Japan, SoftBank Group. The Swiss National Supercomputing Center and U.S. Department of Energy in Los Alamos National Laboratory will be the first to use the chips in their computers. nVidia announced this last Monday. So right now we have computers that have Intel processors, AMD processors. Some of them have ARM. Now we're going to have graphic. We're going to have NVIDIA. Yeah. What type processor? NVIDIA. No. I mean processor, not graphics. No. I have a NVIDIA processor. Yeah. It's things are progressing.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, no,
let's
it's
see. Let's see if it'll
yeah,
stick.
we'll see.
There were
Absolutely.
other contenders, right? And there are other processors. It's not like other
Yeah,
processors don't
very.
exist. They're just not
Yeah,
used.
right.
Yeah, so not widely used.
So I know, Gal, you like to use and Spence, you like to use the Harmony remote controls. So the rumors have persisted for some time, and now Logitech has officially confirmed it has discontinued its once vaunted Harmony remote controls, including the line of Logitech Harmony Pro programmable remotes for custom installers. Logitech plans to continue maintaining the Harmony database and software. The discontinuation does not affect the operation of the warranty on any Harmony remote being used by integrators, clients already in the field. Logitech also plans to continue to offer service and support for Harmony remotes. And the company also points out that the decision does not affect a customer's ability to interface with the Harmony universal remotes via their Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant voice. But they're not going to make it anymore.
It must, I would think it would be difficult to keep up
Well,
supporting lots of new products.
But they're saying they're maintaining the database, and
Well,
that's
yeah, for the time being.
so. I'm
Well-
I'm guessing what we'll see is they'll probably sell that out. They're probably not profiting on it anymore
Yeah.
with the devices. So they'll probably sell it out to a different outfit, and I hope somebody will pick it up because infrared isn't going away, not anytime soon. So
Yeah.
and the Harmony Universal and all that, that's no longer infrared only. That's Wi-Fi and Bluetooth as well. So yeah, but yeah, I guess it's time for that old way of thinking to step down. An end of an era.
Yeah.
Speaking of hubs and control and
Yeah.
and stuff, right? I've talked about Home Assistant a lot on the show, and if any of the listeners are listening in and hearing Home Assistant and thinking Google Home Assistant, no, Google had the brand Home Assistant for a while. They're no longer calling that. There is a Google Home, which is an app to control smart homes and not only smart home, to have like a centric hub for controlling things, and it has the voice assistant, the Google Assistant, which is the part of whatever technology they're using that activates to the keywords. Okay, Google. Hey, Google. And so similar to the Alexa. Home Assistant, if you'll go to homeassistant.io on the web, Home Assistant is an open source project. They have a company behind them. The company is called Nabukasa, which was created about 2 years ago, I think, maybe 3. And that company, the open source project started as this personal project for one guy there. There's 3 prominent people around that. Nabukasa has a few more employees, and they sell cloud subscription, but you can do without no cloud at all, no subscription at all. You can run it on your own. You can run it on a server. You can run it on a Raspberry Pi. They have a huge community around it. The reason I'm mentioning it is one of the things they did in the April version, in the beginning of April, is they are now in an opt-in option. They are now collecting statistics from the installations, and those statistics are publicly available. And the reason they're collecting it is they need, being an open source project, they do not make money directly by everyone who's using their software, right? They are making money by supporters who buy hardware that they are partnering with, or some memorabilia like T-shirts and stuff. And what used to be Nabucasa, now it's Home Assistant Cloud offering, which is a subscription offering that makes things setting up integration with cloud systems a lot easier. But one thing they do not have is they do not have hard data about who's using it and how. And they need this data when they are talking with hardware manufacturers. Right now, most hardware manufacturers selling out, if you go to Amazon or eBay or whatever, and you're looking for some smart home device, you'll see it mentioning working with Amazon Alexa, working with
Google
Home Assistant.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're searching for something with Home Assistant, most of the hardware vendors, they don't really care about this project because they don't know anything about it. And there's no data to support whatever the claim is, that we have millions of users and we're very substantial. So if you go today to the Home Assistant page, I'll paste it in a moment, but there's a link for their statistics. I'll find it in a moment, and I'll send the link. And it is very interesting seeing that. First of all, it's opt-in, so anyone who's using Home Assistant will need to switch it on. So they cannot force you into sending information if you do not want, and that's
Nice.
completely fair. Those who have activated, and it is, let's put it this way, I think anyone who's following the release notes probably chose to activate it, because this is one form of support to the project that is completely free for us, but we know that we're going to see benefits from it later on. So the website is analytics.home-assistant.io, and when you go there, you can see a growing graph of installations. There's a lot of breaking down, which countries they're coming from. It doesn't look like it's a small thing, right? There's already 22,500 installations tracked, and it'll grow as more people realize that they can share this information. And there's some internal statistics. I'm on something switch. Do you want me to show?
No. I think they. Yeah, I knew that. No, you go ahead and show it if you can. The NDI, the NDI froze, did not come back up when I brought it up.
Okay,
when
let
I
me
rebooted.
share my screen to show the graph.
Okay, I mean, I can bring it now if you want me to. It's up.
So, yeah. And here's my version. So probably too large. Let's make it small. Okay. So yeah, so 22,400 installations. This is since they switched it on April 7th, and it's growing because people are starting to share this information. This will require the latest upgrade and all that. So the statistics are interesting to those who use the system. They're about how it's installed. There are different ways of installing it. Operating system. They offer a complete operating system where everything is controlled by the software. It self upgrades itself. It takes care of itself. There's a containerized and supervised, which is a containerized with some OS control solution. I myself run the supervised one, and it's awesome. Also, self-upgrading and all that, and the community behind it is fantastic. The core is just the home assistant component that handles integrations with other systems, and very few of those, only 800 or so are installed that way. There's a breakdown of versions. So if you've ever played with Home Assistant and thought that this was something small that's going away, it's definitely huge. It's definitely something to watch and keep an eye on. If you're into home automation and you want to make automating things easy, I would highly recommend Home Assistant over anything else. The learning curve, I don't think it's any I don't think it's bigger than using any other branded solution like SmartThings or Vera or anything that has been established for a long time before. And the benefit is quite awesome, because they're getting better and better in the user interface, in making things easy for the users to configure, to see it, to create like beautiful dashboards. There's a vibrant community of people hacking, right, the mindset of home automation and going way beyond the home automation. So if you think of home automation as your door locks and your lights and maybe your AC, now combine that with any other service that you can think of. So when you get an email, you want a light to blink, you can do that because you can easily integrate to one environment and like the email environment, and you can easily integrate to your home stuff which requires some switches or a Wi-Fi switch or a Zigbee solution or whatever. And with a simple USB stick, you can hook up to alternative networks. So definitely keep an eye on this project, and if you're interested, dive in. I'm hooked on this thing for the past 2 years, and I can't praise it enough. So just wanted everybody to know that this thing is big, and there's a way of tracking how big it is, and it's going to be a very interesting year going forward, I think, with them. They have a lot of fantastic plans, and it's really fun tracking the progress.
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, I know you keep talking about it, and you keep using it, not just talking about it.
Oh yeah,
it's I've seen what Nick did with it. It's nice.
Yeah, you should see what Sarid does with it. Sarid relies on it a lot more than me, and he's my inspiration. We started this together by me installing it and he getting hooked, and from there he he ran with it, and he has complete automation in his home for a lot of things, and I always take inspiration from the solutions that he makes.
Nice.
Does he have an automated garbage disposal?
I don't know. He might.
You have a special
I
queue.
can tell you he has an automated grill.
Yeah, I've heard of those. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
One last technology thing. When I was browsing Ars Technica, I just found an article I said, when did this happen? How did I miss this? NASA selects SpaceX for its sole provider for a lunar lander.
Mm-hmm.
They bumped out Boeing. Boeing's not involved anymore. Boeing and their whole conglomerate of whatever, companies are under the Boeing umbrella. So it said, in an extraordinary announcement on Friday, NASA said that it has selected SpaceX and its Starship vehicle to serve as the lunar lander for its Artemis program. This is NASA's plan to return humans to the moon later this decade. Fascinating.
Yep.
I'm glad it's a good time to be alive from this stuff. Before I saw the original U-Am9 were alive during the first lunar landing, and then everything is, I haven't done much with it, and now we're going to go back.
Yeah, but I mean, the more interesting would be Mars.
Still, I mean, for all the hype and the movies that they make about going to Mars and all that stuff, there are some insurmountable issues that they have to. They'll come up with an idea, but the technology they have to have, and there's different, depending on the trajectory, there's different timings to how long it takes to get there and then to return, and it's really the most important thing they have to overcome is the physical side of it. Because of radiation, they have no real solution for once you leave the umbrella that protects the Earth, the Van Allen belt, the radiation belt that protects us from solar radiation, you've got to have something. And the thing they're working on now, it's going to take an enormous amount of power, is building like a giant plasma field that will create its own magnetic field. I'm not sure if it's plasma, but they'll create a magnetic field around the ship to protect the
shield.
Ship. So it's fascinating, but they've got to come up with a way, because if they're using today's technology, I don't know if people would make it, because they'd be exposed to.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it will be more interesting, because
to
go to the moon, I'm okay. We done it. All right, we're going back. But now that's not much of an advancement as it would be to go.
You've been to the moon?
Huh? Oh yeah,
you've been to the moon?
Couple of times.
To the moon, to the moon. Did you know that when the Apollo vehicles left Earth's orbit, they had to pick a specific trajectory that would, when they went through the radiation, the Van Allen belt, I think it's called the Van Allen belt, the magnetic field around the Earth, the radiation levels were so high, they had to pick a way to go through it as quickly as possible without being exposed to that radiation, because it's so deadly. And they all had the debilitating effects of going through that, even for a brief period of time. Several of them died from heart defects that were known to be caused by genetic mutations that were caused by spaceflight.
Lead suits.
Well, it works to an extent, but lead doesn't stop. Certain types of radiation isn't stopped by lead.
Yeah.
There's one ray that goes through everything. It's just, they said that astronauts, when they were on their way, would have flashes of light in their eyes. And it was really radiation going through and hitting their optic nerves. So, but yeah, cool stuff. Cool stuff.
Yep. All right.
So you want to say Star Trek was lying to us?
They were being wildly optimistic.
You can't walk on another planet?
I'm waiting for transporters. They've transported single photons over distance, but it's a ways before they can. But when they finally started to explain the technology as the shows became more popular, so how does Star Trek technology work? Well, that your entire pattern is saved in a buffer, right? They basically disassemble your molecules, and they're not the same molecules on the other side. They recreate it from other molecules to make you again. So it's like, so every time you go through the transporter, it's really not you anymore. Physically, it's everything
you die and
about
a,
you.
and a clone continues.
Yeah. So
I'll wait
interesting.
for Stargate.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd rather ride through the Stargate than go through a transporter. You're right.
Yep.
I started watching select episodes of the Stargate TV series, SG1 again.
Oh, fantastic. I
Yeah.
saw the entirety of it, probably finished about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yes.
That and all of its spin-offs, it's a very good show.
Yep.
There's one episode, and I'm going to get the title wrong. I can't exactly remember it, where they're stuck in a time loop, where they keep reliving the same day. It's like a Groundhog Day thing. And what's great about it, the further they get into it, it's Teal'c and gosh, now I can't remember his name, the commander. Oh gosh.
The D
O'Neill.
commander or
O'Neill and Teal'c are stuck in this thing, and they get more and more. You realize we can do anything we want because it just keeps resetting. So the best one was Teal'c and O'Neill at the Stargate. The gate is open and they're driving golf balls through it. That's the furthest drive in history. It was great.
I don't remember that.
Fantastic. Yeah, he'd go to meetings and he'd start, spinning around in his chair and doing all kinds, because he'd remember.
Yeah.
But nobody else would.
Nobody else.
So it's great. Good episode. All right.
Anyway.
But I digress.
All right. Well, it's that time of day again. Anything else technical that anybody wants to bring up? People in the chat? Spence, Gal? No? Going once?
Microsoft will not contact you by email or by phone to renew your Defender.
No, they will not. Anytime somebody calls you because they realize that you have a virus, hang up.
And just because you get a very realistic looking email about click here to contact our support specialist who will help you reinstall your antivirus.
Yeah. No. Nobody's on the other side monitoring your machine.
But
So
why?
Don't fall for it.
Wait a minute. I just got a text that came up on my screen that said, yes, we are.
Yep. Okay. Very funny. All right. Well, thanks, guys. That was fun. I don't know what happened to Nick. He's probably sleeping because he partied all night. I mean,
He's having too much fun.
he's no longer working at his job. He's going to start working at the new radio station Monday, but he's going to be on the air May 3rd. So, congratulations, Nick.
He'll be a media darling.
Hopefully.
No, a radio influencer.
That's it.
A radio influencer.
Right? Everybody's an influencer today.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, Gal, thanks. And again, say happy birthday, Mati.
I will pass that
And
along.
pass it along. And thanks, Spence. Good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie and Dana, Dina, Michal and Arlette, Eleanor. And again, happy birthday, Mati. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 8, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. We'll be here. Nick's still doing his Infection podcast on Tuesday evenings with Brian on Twitch for gamers. See you next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.